Here.
Joe Bosey,
Here.
alternate. Brian Treppa, chair, absent. Bonnie McInerney Slater, here. We have 4 members. All right. I can't find my agenda, I just had it in my hand. Oh, there we go. Next would be the approval or amendments to the agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the there are no amendments to the agenda.
So a motion to approve those.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, approval of the minutes of the May 19th, 2021 zoning board of appeals meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve.
That meeting, in that meeting, they call me Shirley.
Oh,
It's a typo down at the end. Somewhere in there.
so a motion to approve.
As
is
a,
amended.
As amended. As amended.
Is that a second?
support,
All in favor?
aye.
Any opposed? This is the time where I read the zoning board of appeals preface. The Clay Township Zoning Board of Appeals primarily addresses practical difficulty based on lot size, location, shape, or contour and/or location of existing buildings. We are guided by section 27.05 of ordinance 126. There are 5 members of the ZBA. 3 members constitute a quorum. Each appeal before the ZBA, who will have a public hearing, at which time the appellant will first present his or her case, and then any public comment regarding that issue will follow. During this time, the members of the board will ask questions of clarification. If a particular point gets belabored, the chairperson has the right to limit comments. When the public hearing is closed, the board will move on to the deliberation phase of a particular request before us. If the appellant should disagree with the board's decision, he or she has the right to take it to circuit court within 30 days of the decision. When your appeal hearing is concluded, you are welcome to stay or leave. And I do want to notify the applicant that there are only 4 members here tonight. You will need the affirmative vote of 3 in order for this to pass. You do have the option of waiting until next month, when hopefully we do have 5 members. So do you want to proceed tonight? Okay. In that case, I will call,
You can't vote yet.
huh?
He can't vote yet.
Has he not been sworn in?
Have you been sworn in?
No.
No, you can't
Oh.
vote.
So all 3 of us would have to approve your case tonight.
Yeah.
So are you comfortable with that? Or do you want to wait till there are more members?
Did you say that if it doesn't work today, then we could do it next month also?
If we have the hearing tonight, we'll rule on it tonight. But if you'd like the opportunity to have 5 members instead of just the 3 of us that all have to vote yes in order for it to happen, you have that option.
I'll just hope yes.
Okay. So I will call ZBA case JZBA 2021-012-1368 North Channel, 74-1-721-0006-0000R1. I could have the applicant come up to the podium. Could give an overview of what you'd like to do and why you think we should approve it.
I just want to put a fence between my house and my garage, which I guess is considered front yard, instead of waterfront being front yard. So I just wanted to make
Oh, I'm
sure.
sorry, you're right. I need your name and address for the record.
Kathy Simmons, it's 1368 North Channel Drive, Parsons Island.
Sorry, go ahead.
And I just want to put up a fence, a black chain link, make it look real nice and keep it real nice. I've seen lots of them on the island. I sent pictures just between my house and the tube, and I would like you to approve it.
If you'd like to have a seat, just in case we have more questions.
Sure.
Is there any member of the public that would like to comment on this? Anyone? Gary, did you have any comments?
In our ordinance, in the front yards, forward of the house to right of way, it says that only decorative fences can be in that location, and they do not consider a vinyl-infused chain link fence as being a decorative fence. Looking at this though, and that's what the ordinance says, and that's why, I couldn't approve it at administrative level. What they have in the backyard is that beautiful north channel. Do you want a fence out there? And this area here is between the house and the garage, which is forward of, the house out by the road. So as far as obstruction or anything like that, it's just not existent on this one. If you're going to approve something as this, decorative or vinyl coated chain link in this particular location, to me, I'd say that this would be a good candidate to allow.
Yep. I know the whole thing is considered front yard. How far back is like the required front yard?
The required front yard in this area is 25 feet.
Oh, okay, so this is
So,
behind that?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's to the back of the garage, which the garage itself meets that setback.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay?
Does the board have any questions?
Well, 70 feet is an awful long fence. I don't see a practical difficulty.
Well, I guess to
You could,
me,
you could do something, but it would have to be smaller, possibly. Like Gary said, move it back.
well, she wants it just between the house and the garage, correct?
That's 70
Right.
feet long and goes almost out to the road.
But it's behind the 25 feet of required setback. It's actually 50,
56.8.
yeah, 56
56 feet.
back. I don't know, I guess to me, the way that this yard is configured does kind of make it, you could make an argument for a hardship for the fence.
Practical
or
difficulty.
Practical difficulty, because the location of the garage is in front of the house, which on other lots would not be allowed to be placed like this. So to me, I'm looking at the back of the garage almost as if, under other circumstances, would be the rear of the house going back and not obstructing the water view.
Well, I went and looked at it, and I just think it's a little much. I think it should be the opportunity to make it a smaller area. It doesn't have to be 70 foot long.
Right. I mean, I just,
The area, adjacent to it is wide open, so this fence is gonna be really visible.
Yes, and the houses are fairly close together as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
The
Yeah, I
lots
went
are-
and looked at it, and naturally, we're on the
right,
island.
as I say, it's hard for me to get over there sometimes.
Yeah, the houses are pretty close together in that little section. In fact, when I pulled into the neighbor's driveway, because there's a bunch of cars in this driveway, I mean, he's waving, hey, he's kind of like, what are you guys, and he was 2 doors down. So, I mean, they're all, it's
Right.
pretty closed in over there.
I just have a hard time finding a practical difficulty. Not a personal situation of the applicant. Because it goes along with the characteristics of the property.
Right.
Well, there's white picket fences in that area. This house, the color of it, I believe, is white, if I remember it correctly. It kind of strikes me odd to have a black fence.
It's
it
yellow.
yellow?
Yeah, it's yellow.
Could you have a 4-foot decorative, or would it have to be under 4 feet?
It'd be 4 feet or less.
So
And
she's
chain-
not being denied a fence, she just wants chain link and
Right.
not decorative, which I would agree is not a hardship.
Is this gonna be a 6-foot fence?
No,
4-foot?
It's the materials and the location that's the problem.
May I comment?
If you come back up to the microphone so you picked up.
I'm just wondering, just like I said, down the road before the tube, there's a black vinyl chain link fence in very tight area. I think I have a picture of it, and it actually has some kind of a white-looking fence on the front part of it, and it's between the house and the garage.
Not to interrupt you, but we can
Yeah.
only look at your
At your
property.
property.
We don't know when that fence was put up, what the ordinance was at that time. We can only look at yours
Yeah.
as an independent thing.
Okay,
You could give us 100 other fences, but we can only look at this and whether or not it fits the criteria that by law we have to follow.
okay. So when I sent my pictures in, which was requested, that probably wasn't needed?
Pictures of,
I took pictures of the
Right.
houses between me and the tube, and I went all the way around, and there was quite a few of them out
We-
there.
Excuse me, but we don't care what is out and about. We're interested only in yours.
Right,
Because it, just as Bonnie said, we don't know when those were done. You know, we have no way of knowing that.
right. So does that mean that they probably just put one up without permission?
we don't know, we
We
can't
don't
make
know.
that
We
assumption.
can't.
Right. And with my neighbors being okay with it, and they all agreed that it was okay,
Again,
it don't
this
matter.
is a body where by law, we are given criteria that we have to follow. No matter how much we want to give it to you, we would be violating the law if we didn't follow these steps that we have to follow in order to grant it.
Okay. And then you're saying 70 feet's too much?
No,
What-
I just made a comment, it's a lot of fence. I mean, it's a lot of length.
If I shorten it up a little, would that help you out,
I
liking
got
it a
nothing to
little
do
better?
with that. You have to see the building administrator. We're just going by what we're required
Right.
to rule on. And you'd have to go back to the building department.
So if I went to the building department,
We don't know. We are only saying what we're looking at, the criteria we have to follow. It's not for us to say you can do 35 feet, not 70 feet, or whatever. You're asking for 70, that's what we're having to rule on tonight.
okay. All right.
There was a comment from somebody else, so, you know.
Was there
Last
one in your
page.
packet? Okay. Thank you for pointing that out. 1 second.
Just really the only thing at issue here is going to be the vinyl coated chain link, which is not allowed, but in that same area, you could have a decorative fence that would be allowed.
Right,
At
and
any,
given,
at any distance.
given that she could have the decorative fence, I think that makes it even harder to get to the practical difficulty, because she's not being denied a fence because of the characteristics. She just wants a chain link versus what she can have, which is decorative.
Okay, and typically, why we allow vinyl coated chain link on canal properties out at the canal side is because generally decorative fences don't contain pets. And the cyclone fence does. So that's the difference. And I don't know if they have pets there or not, but typically a decorative fence will hold in the kids, but not hold in the pets. And that's why they allow it on really the canal side of canal properties. But I just want to point out that the distance is, or the amount of fence probably isn't as big an issue as whether or not the vinyl infused chain link or otherwise they can still go decorative. Okay?
We do have a letter that I need to read. To whom it concerns in building, I am requesting a permit, oh, this is from the applicant, for a fence at 168 North Channel Drive, or 1368. I drove around the island and found many chain link fences and roadside yards. Oh, this
That's
one,
the
okay.
applicant. Yeah, that's the
Sorry, I was
applicant.
reading
No
it wrong.
worries.
Hello, my name is Haley Maddie, residing at 1360 North Channel Drive. I'm writing this letter to inform you I do not feel the chain link within the front yard is necessary, and with deep concerns, I feel as if it will alter the area we call home. Though it can be considered a subtle change, it could lead to further fencing, which is unnecessary. Respectfully, I would like to impose, I'm assuming she means oppose, further fencing. We live in a community where we are family, not locked away from one another. We are open with a bunch of residents in which I hope can understand where individuals with similar opinions come to an agreement. Sincerely, resident of 1360 North Channel Drive. Any other thoughts? Somebody want to try and make a motion? Oh, yes, close the public hearing. I haven't done this in a while.
I'd like to make a motion to deny it. I'm not seeing a practical difficulty either.
I'll support it.
So we have a motion of support. Joanne, yeah, to deny. Joanne Shirkey,
Yes,
Deborah Addy,
Yes.
Bonnie McInerney Slater, yes. Unfortunately, we did have to deny the request.
Do you have a suggestion of what I should do next?
Again, you need to
go
speak
see
with
him.
Gary.
So my only choice is,
Talk to Gary. You have to, he's our building administrator.
oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I thought you told me to come up here.
No, we
No,
said you have
no.
to speak with them.
Go back.
Now or not
No,
later?
not now,
Not now.
during the week. We just have to follow the rules that are put in front of us for zoning board of appeals, and that's what we just did. It's hard for you to understand that, but that's the way the rules are. Unless they want to change the ordinance.
Can I slide it all the way? Yep. Oops. Thank you. Nope, I got it right here. All right, I don't believe we have any unfinished business. Anyone aware of anything?
Not that I know of.
Okay. Planning Commission representative?
Okay, on May 26th, the Planning Commission held a public hearing on fence ordinances.
They're really
And-
coming up.
Apparently, it was a hot topic before I joined the Planning
Yes,
Commission.
a long time ago.
And it's virtually the same, only got more descriptive as to, how do I say this? What waterfront property is, and it describes, North Channel, South Channel, if you're on a canal lot, it
Oh, that's
makes it,
good.
it's very defining.
Yes.
And so, we were the only ones at the public hearing. So now we've passed it on, to the board, so they're gonna look at it.
The township board,
I think that's what happens
Trustees.
after the
yeah.
public hearing. Pardon? Oh, that's
County,
right, that's
yeah.
right, the county. Then we had a request for a rezoning application for South Channel Yacht Club. It's now called South Channel Properties. We accepted their application, the review process, and it's set for public hearing on June 23rd, this coming, next week. And he's going to sell nice subdivided lots over there. We'll get a look at his plan, hopefully, then.
Lots down at the yacht club.
Yeah. He's done a really nice job, by the way, over there.
Good. All
And
right.
that's my report.
Any other matters to be reviewed?
I do have a question. I don't know how this works, but our last CBA meeting, we denied an applicant to have a trailer and a shed.
Right.
Those things are still there. I'm not really sure the timing on how long it takes or the process. Is that something you could help us?
Right away, they have 30 days.
30?
In order to approach the circuit court.
Okay.
So we're not enforcing, for them to remove at this point
Okay,
till that has expired.
okay, got
And then
it.
we can move forward. If we need to, and I think we will, we'll move forward with our township attorney to make sure that those are removed.
Okay, thank you. That's very helpful.
Any members of the public wish to have public comment? Public comment? All right.
Motion to adjourn.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?